Hey, it's Evie, welcome to my channel. Today is another video on my list of requests, and this one is how to change your subconscious belief. If you have a subconscious belief about something, a person, a thing, you, yourself, how do you change that and make it something positive, or make it what you want it to be, or just wipe that out? You know, you can just do that, wipe the belief out and not try to force another one in there, because it does take time. It's much quicker to wipe something out than it is to add something to change it and give your subconscious a new belief. So if you've been to my channel before and you've seen some of my videos, you may know that I had a subconscious belief that I didn't realise I had, that I wasn't quite good enough for anything, just wasn't quite good enough, and it didn't sort of apply to anything in particular, it applied to everything, and I hadn't realised that's how I felt. I realised that's how I felt when I went deep and realised it. I knocked it out within 10 minutes because I thought it was nonsense. Once I realised it was there, I thought, wow, that really is nonsense. Oh my gosh, that's what's been holding me back all of this time, with everything, with people, with situations, with my career, and everything. It had been what was holding me back, and I got rid of it. Got rid of it just like that. And that's all that you need to do. You don't need to reprogram it with something else particularly, because that's where it takes a little bit of time to do that. I mean, I have done that with one particular thing, which I'll tell you about it in a moment, but I did that for fun, really. So how do you go about that? Let's go step by step here. First of all, go deep. And let's look at how we feel about ourselves. That's the most important, because if you can sort that out, then everything else becomes kind of, it just slots into place. How do you feel about yourself? Do you think that you're good enough? If you're wanting to be back with your ex or a specific person, do you feel that you're good enough for them? And if you don't, can you go back to a time where you feel that something told you that you weren't good enough? I mean, maybe somebody said something to you over and over and over when you were younger, and that's like a spell. If somebody does that to you, and they don't mean to do it, it's just something they say flippantly and they don't mean anything by it particularly, but it is like a spell. And the more you hear something, the more you believe it. And you might not know that you're believing it up here, but it doesn't matter. It's your subconscious, it's what's going in and what is settling in there for future issues. And that's what you need to get sorted first. So look deep, go deep and think, what do I think about myself? Am I good enough? Am I never going to be good enough for this person? Do I think I can't change my career because I didn't, I'm not qualified? And all of those things, they are all subconscious beliefs that you can't do something because of something else. And that's what you want to get rid of. Like I say, you don't need to put something else in there, but you can, and that can be fun. And that can be great, actually. Because the thing is, if it is blank, then other stuff is going to fill up there. So you have to be aware of your subconscious, really, all of the time. I mean, I think mine's pretty empty. I don't think that I have any particular beliefs, or certainly not about myself. I just am what I am, and I accept what I am, and I know that I can do whatever I want to do. There's nothing holding me back now, and that was a huge subconscious belief that was holding me back. It doesn't seem like anything too major when I say it out loud, but it clearly was, because it really was holding me back. So that's what you want to do first. What do you think about yourself? And if you find something and then you think, oh, I know why that is, and you think you can't get rid of it because it's too ingrained there, you can. Because a subconscious belief is just nonsense, because with the law of attraction, with this stuff, nothing matters but the current moment. So whatever has happened before doesn't matter, because you can manifest in a second. From having one belief 1 minute and getting rid of it, you can manifest in the next second. You see? So it doesn't have any relevance, does it, really? The past just doesn't have any relevance. And that is why holding on to resentment in life is the worst thing you can do for your own sanity, for your own good stuff. Don't hold on to resentment, because even if somebody did something awful to you, if you hold on to resentment, then you are the one suffering. They probably hardly ever think about it, or if they ever think about it. So you are, as my friend would say, drinking the poison and expecting somebody else to get sick. You are the only one that will suffer. So that was just another little point. Not really have too much relevance to subconscious, but please don't be resentful of anything in life if you can get away with it, if you can help it, because it really will hold you back. Resentment is resistance. Resentment does you no good, absolutely no good. It's like forgiveness, you know, you do it because it's good for you. It's good for your soul. It doesn't matter if what it does for the other person, it's what it does for you. Okay, so if you looked at your own subconscious and you've worked on clearing that, so you find something there and you kind of, well, say you know something's there, you know that you think a certain way about yourself. Why are you thinking that? And why let that belief carry on and hold you back? Why not wipe it out? Why not think of yourself from this point when you get to that belief and you think, but this happened and that happened, so I'm bound to think that. Well, yes, but why don't you think of that person as somebody else? That's what I did. I mean, when I look back at what I was like a few years back, I don't see that as me now. I really don't. I mean, I haven't consciously decided not to see that as me, but that is what's worked for me. I just subconsciously started seeing that person as a different person. Bless her. You know, oh, if only she knew what I know now. I just see her as a different person, just a different version of me, but not this me. Definitely not this me. Definitely not this me. So if you can do it that way and think that, oh, okay, I'm starting again with myself. I am cloning me, but I'm making improvements, a clone with improvements, a bit like when you're manifesting a new person into your life or a specific person. You make it a different version. So you are now a different version of you. So start from scratch. Circumstances don't matter. Circumstances do not matter a bit. And I say that a lot on this channel, but it's true. And I am living proof of that. They don't matter. So if you struggle with thinking, I can't change me, then think you're not changing you. You're just creating a different version of you. That's what worked for me, and I didn't even know that I was doing it. I know that I've done it now, because when I think of me back then, it's not me. It doesn't seem like me at all. So that's one good way of doing it. Now look at your subconscious belief about anything in your life. You see, the thing is, it does all come down to your subconscious belief about yourself, really. So say you have a subconscious belief about a person that you're trying to manifest. You have this belief, when you go deep, you think, what does my subconscious think about them? What do I really think about them? Go deep, go deep. Not what you think, you know, the outer things that you try and make yourself think. What do you subconsciously think? And that's difficult, isn't it? Because your subconscious is just bobbing along in the background and you don't necessarily know. But if you go deep, you can feel what you really think about that person. Then think, why do you think that about that person? What reason have they given you to feel like that? And then think, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Okay, that happened then, but this is not now. So I am going to build another subconscious belief, or I'm going to wipe that one out. Wipe that one out. Start from there. Just get rid of that, because it's of no use to you. Of no use to you. And try to feel that you have a blank slate inside of you. Now we'll look at building a new subconscious belief. Now I did this a few months back, and I just did it for fun, really, because I have sort of changed things about my appearance with the law of attraction, with imagining different and feeling like something was different. I've got rid of a mark on my face and different things like that. Oh, you know, and I've only ever done it for fun. If there was something that really bothered me about myself, I doubt I'd be able to change it, because I would be conscious of it, and I would, you know, I would dislike it, so I would be looking at it all of the time. Has it changed? Has it changed? Won't change. Has to be something that you're not holding attachment to. And letting go of attachment is, again, a practice. All of this stuff is a practice. Okay, so reprogramming your subconscious to believe something different. Now, what we believe subconsciously and what we try to believe up here are two different things. Now, we need those to be in alignment for this to work. So I decided that I was going to create a subconscious belief within myself that it didn't matter what I ate, I was always going to stay the same size as I was. I did that for fun, really, because, you know, I like eating cakes. I do. And I'll tell you some weird things that happened around that. Some bizarre, no, not weird, just, I don't know. Anyway, so I decided, so every day I would tell myself, every time I went to eat something, I would tell myself, oh, it's great that I can eat whatever I want and stay the same shape. And I would feel good about that, and I would let it go. And I did that every single day for probably about 3 months. And then I sort of forgot about doing it. And then a little while later, I thought, oh, wow, you know, I've eaten quite a lot, because I've been on holiday and had eaten a lot of junk. And I wasn't any bigger at all. And I thought, oh. And then I felt how I felt about eating and putting on weight. And I thought, I truly believe that it doesn't matter what I eat, that I won't put on any weight. I could feel that that's what I believed. So there you go. I had created that belief. and I just don't seem to, I've always been careful with my weight, reasonably careful. I mean, I eat fairly healthily, but I do like cakes. I can take all the chocolate and crisps and all that stuff, but I do have a sweet tooth, but in that time, I have less of a sweet tooth than I used to have. And I haven't tried to stop eating sweet things, but I just don't eat so much. And I realised that the other day, actually. Well, I realised it over Christmas. I thought, I haven't really fancied anything sweet all that much. I usually like mince pies and Christmas pudding and all that. I haven't been bothered about it. And then I thought back and I thought, actually, for a while, I haven't been that bothered about sweet stuff. I can really take it or leave it. I really can take or leave a cake now. I will enjoy it, but I probably won't finish it. So something then happened within me, stopped me eating so many sweet things. But I hadn't really noticed that. So I believe that's to do with me saying that to myself over and over, because I've always had a sweet tooth. My mum has a terrible sweet tooth. She takes a bag of chocolate raisins to bed every single night. She watches the TV and eats them and has a cup of tea. She doesn't just take them to bed. And that's the sort of sweet tooth that I have. I still do enjoy sweet stuff, but really, I'm really not that bothered. And I didn't try to stop eating sweet stuff, didn't try to do that. I just told myself that I could eat whatever I wanted and I wouldn't put on any weight. There you go. So I changed, my behaviour changed with food, but I hadn't tried to change my behaviour. I hadn't tried to do anything. I just noticed that naturally that has happened. I don't know if that would happen that way for you or for anybody else, but that's the way it's happened for me. Because maybe deep, in my subconscious, I think if you eat lots of cake, you're gonna put on weight, and that's that. So it's kind of worked with the way that I feel about food. I've kind of made that sound really complicated, but it's been as simple as that. I feel like I've eaten plenty, I've eaten quite a lot. So, in order to change a subconscious belief, or in order to make a subconscious belief work for you, I think it takes around 3 months. It was about 3 months for me. Have I done it with other stuff? You see, I don't know. Because when I wiped out the subconscious belief, of me being not good enough, I didn't replace it with anything. I just immediately knew that was nonsense. Of course I'm good enough. So maybe I did replace it with that, but I didn't consciously sit there and try to replace it with that. I didn't feel the need, because I thought, I just didn't feel the need. I know what I'm capable of, and I know that if I put my mind to something, for instance, this year I've given myself a couple of things that I want to do. I want to, my nephew, on my husband's side, is amazing at magic tricks. He does these amazing card tricks, so he's been teaching me. I'm a useless student, but I have decided that this time next year I'm going to be really great at magic tricks, just card tricks, And also I am going to learn French. I know a little bit of French. I made an effort when we used to go a few years back to learn a little bit, but I'm not fluent by any stretch, so I am going to do that, and I know that I'll do that. If I'd have thought that a few years ago, I would have sort of half-heartedly thought it, but deep down I would have known I wasn't going to do anything about that. I would have liked to have done it, but I wouldn't have done it. But now I know that I will do that. I know this time next year I will be speaking fluent French. I think it's going to be French, sort of going between French and Italian, because I went to Italy recently and I loved it there. So I love the Italian accent and the Italian language. But I think it's going to be French. So before, with that belief that I would have had that I'm not quite good enough, I would have thought, I'm not quite capable of doing that, or I won't find the time to do this, or I won't, all that came with that thought that I wasn't quite good enough. And now I just know that I will do it because I really want to do it. The language more than the card tricks. I just love magic, just that simple magic stuff. I just like to be able to, shock and amaze with some amazing card tricks. So once you wipe out a core subconscious belief that is dragging you down, you really will feel free, like you can do absolutely anything. Sometimes I make these videos, I'm not 100% sure whether I'm coming across, I know what I'm talking about, I know what I mean, whether you know what I mean. So again, I will always say to you, email me. I am getting so busy with emails, but I always do get through them eventually. I'm kind of running on about 4 or 5 days now, because I do get, when I log in, I've got so many of them, so I have to answer a batch at a time. So I'm really sorry if you just miss one batch, and so you have to wait a few days, but I will get back to you. If you haven't had a reply within 7 days, please go to my Facebook page, Evie Sparks' Facebook Facebook page and message me there, and I will get back to you. I promise I will get back to you. So if you feel that you're still struggling with what I've said, and sometimes, like I say, I find some things quite difficult to explain in words. If I had you in front of me, and I kind of have, but if I had somebody in front of me and I was trying to explain it, I think it would be easier. But I hope that I've sort of made that as clear as I possibly can. A bit like explaining vibration. It's kind of one of those things that's personal to everybody, and you might find a different way of doing this, but you can reprogram your subconscious. You really, really can. If you want to put something else in there, see it as a bit of fun, but wipe out whatever's there first. You have to get rid of what's there first before you can put something else in. So that's much easier than just trying to change what's there. You have to deal with what's there, get rid of that, put something else in there, or simply get rid of what's there, leave it like a clean slate. I mean, that's more what I've done. I just did the weight thing just for fun, really, because I know that you can change your subconscious belief, and so I just decided to do that just for fun. But I wouldn't, you don't need to. All you really want to do is clear what's there and accept that that was there for that other version of you, but that isn't here now for you, because you are a new version and you're moving ahead with this stuff. You're making this stuff work for you. You are whatever your name is too. That's a really good way of doing this, because it's so difficult to think you're trying to change something that's been built in there for years and years and years and years and years. But if you're a new person, a new version, then you've just come off of the factory floor. You are set back to factory settings. Yeah, you're back at factory settings, so you're a clean slate. There's nothing put in there yet. You haven't added any apps, any programs, anything like that. So you're starting from scratch. All of that's gone, means nothing, really means absolutely nothing. You are the new version, the latest version of you, and you are going to be super duper with everything is going to be working perfectly, just like when you get a new phone and everything is up to speed and working really, really, really well. The battery's great, everything's great. So then you can leave it like that, or you can add different programs, you can add different apps of whatever you want to do. Leave it as it is, or add stuff. I would suggest leaving it as it is to start with. So if you get rid of all that stuff, see yourself as a new version, start off like that, and then further on down the track, when you feel a relief of just not having all this stuff within you, then try and add new stuff. I hope that was useful. Like I say, email me. I'm more than happy to help, because I know that some of my stuff, cats on the roof again, sorry, so noisy. I know that I can get a bit rambly with this stuff, and I try to keep it really concise, and some stuff I can do that when I'm telling you how to do a specific thing. I find that easier to talk about, but this stuff I do find that I do get it a bit rambly, because I'm not quite sure of the right way to describe it and how you will understand. Some of you may understand me and some of you may not, but email me and get a personal response, and I will tailor it exactly to you, exactly to your situation. So if you tell me that you have a certain subconscious belief about yourself, then do that, email me with that, and then I will come back to you and say, okay, this is what I suggest for getting rid of this particular belief. That might be the easiest way. So hopefully this was useful. And like I say, if it wasn't quite as useful as I'm hoping it was, then please do email me.